Hello and welcome to another Platinum Trophy update for the month of March. You can see by our stats here that I'm making my way to 65% overall completion. This is really exciting, guys, and if you clock onto the amount of platinums that I do have a few more to share with you today. So without further ado, let's get into the trophy log. And we're here on the trophy log, guys, specifically with page 3. And you can see here, we last left off with Hardened Veteran, complete all chapters on hard difficulty on Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yes, you don't need my opinion for this, but it is a strong recommendation. And the platinum wasn't too bad, to be honest. There were a few awkward trophies, specifically with Dressed to the Nines. Obtain all 9 bridal candidate outfits. You need to replay the game, I think it's a minimum of 3 times. I managed to do this in 3 playthroughs. The first playthrough, my casual playthrough, I managed to get 3 outfits naturally, so you're guaranteed 3 outfits. And then I made sure in my hard difficulty that I got a different set of outfits, so that was another 3. And then when I was completing when I fully completed the hard difficulty playthrough, I went back to get the other 3. Yeah, I would recommend a guide for this. It can be a little bit cumbersome replaying some of the past chapters that influence future chapters to get that outfits. I would just recommend the guide. Specifically, the PSN Profile guide is actually one of the best that I've read. It actually got an award on PSN Profiles for being basically the best guide of that year, and rightfully so. It's a well-written guide. So yes, if you're planning on platinuming this game, go and look at that guide. It will save you. So yeah, but other than that, I will just touch on the last 3 remaining trophies here, and it's just these 3 here. So deal 300% damage to a staggered enemy. I'm pretty sure you can only do this with Tifa, and on my hard playthrough, I decided to learn Tifa more in depth, and it turns out that she's actually one of the best characters in the game, arguably, and she's actually really fun to play. So yeah, I would say if you didn't get a chance to learn her in your first playthrough, on your second playthrough, yeah, make that effort to kind of to learn Tifa's moveset and physically control her. Normally, I control Cloud and Barret, but actually controlling Tifa instead of Cloud can really put in some damage. So yeah, I would recommend doing that. There's in the guide, it tells you a specific way to do it, but I actually managed to do this accidentally somehow. So yeah, it's not too difficult at all when you know the staggering mechanic with Tifa. And yeah, that, you know, it's an uncommon trophy, so it's totally doable when you get to know the character's moves and the intricacies and the mechanics. So yeah, the Master of Mimicry trophy, this was a bit of a strange one. Again, you have to replay certain chapters, because only in certain chapters there's enemies that you need to basically fight to get the enemy skill. You need to equip the enemy skill materia, and if you get hit by basically certain skills, you're able to obtain them and learn them on your own character, which can be quite useful. But because this was part of the cleanup, I didn't use those enemy skills too much in my playthroughs. So yeah, you could possibly do this later on or as early as possible if you're really interested in the materia. I will have to say though, I can't remember if this is actually mentioned on the guide or not, but with the enemy skill materia, when you get hit by that particular ability that you need to learn from the enemy, it's only a chance for you to learn it. And I say that because there's this one particular enemy in a VR mission that you have to get a skill for, and I actually had to reset that VR mission twice to get the skill because it just wasn't It just wasn't working. So I'm pretty sure it's a chance to get the skill. Just bear that in mind. And last but not least, ultimate weapon, defeat the Pride and Joy prototype. This is the final VR mission in the game, and you have to complete every other VR mission to complete this one. Some of the VR missions are hard specific, so you have to be playing on hard to unlock the VR missions. You need to do the hard ones, and then this one naturally unlocks. Yeah, this VR mission is no joke, man. It took me a good couple of tries. I will say though, with the VR missions, you know how it's like segmented into rounds. So I'm pretty sure in the Pride and Joy VR mission, there's 5 rounds. I might be wrong. It's been a month since I've played this game, but the fifth round is, so the final round is the Pride and Joy prototype, right? But before that, there's some really hard enemies that you have to defeat. It's basically to the point that they're bosses, right? So they're bosses. It's kind of like a boss rush in a way. So it is quite difficult if you're not prepared. If you are prepared though, I would actually say this is quite easy. It's kind of trial and error. When you know how to defeat the other rounds, the other enemies before Pride and Joy actually turns out to be not that difficult. When I finally got to the final round, I managed to defeat Pride and Joy first time. So do that as you will. And yeah, it wasn't too bad when I finally got to the final round. The hardest part was the rounds before, definitely. And after doing that, I managed to get the platinum trophy. Yes, definitely 100% recommend getting the platinum. It is a really fun game casually. How I did it was I played the game casually before I was actually a trophy hunter, and then when I got enamored by trophies, I went back and played the game on hard. So yeah, it was definitely a confidence check going straight into hard mode after not playing the game for years. But yeah, it was still a great time, guys. And I watched all of the cutscenes back, and I was still blown away with the game, man. Yeah, it's just a great game. Really excited for the next iterations of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yes, go check it out, guys. It's a system seller, man. It's such a great game. You might have seen in the other episode, the previous episode, that I was complaining a lot about Borderlands 3. Me and Serena are playing Borderlands the now, and right now we're actually going to do some of the DLC soon, hopefully. But yeah, Borderlands Game of the Year edition, arguably better than Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 really burnt me, man. Like, I can't believe how bad that game was. But to just give you a quick overview of the game, for Borderlands, I think it's a pretty standard trophy list. All of these are pretty doable. You can just judge here. Most of these trophies are common. You do get some uncommon ones here, like killed an enemy plumber style. That's just jumping on an enemy. So it's a reference to Mario. And you have to complete all missions. So all missions in every area, and that wasn't too bad because you're working towards the level trophy anyway. So you have to get max level, which is level 50 in the game, and then when you get the DLC, well, if you play this version on PS4, you get to level up even further than 50. So yeah, there are some multiplayer ones, but I'm pretty sure all of these can be done locally. So specifically when a duel emerge victorious from an arena match, I'm pretty sure that's multiplayer. Play with at least 2 other players. Yes, that was pretty easy. So yeah, and there are character specific ones, so you will need to create multiple characters. I started off the game as Brick, and then when we finished the main campaign, I went back and did the requirements for the other characters. Yeah, so it's specifically the action skill. You unlock the action skill at level 5, and then you have to kill a certain amount of enemies with that with that class's action skill. Totally doable, guys. Totally doable. It might take like I can't even say how long. It was really quick. It was really quick for me, so it wasn't too much of a hassle at all. And with the Siren's action skill, you only need to kill one enemy, so that's really quick. So yeah, there's some miscellaneous ones as well, like kind of like Easter egg trophies. You're on a boat. I bet you never thought you'd be here. Yeah, so that's just going on a boat. It's a very specific boat, but yeah, and stuff like race around the speedway in record time. You know, it's really easy. It's really easy. I think I'll continue talking about Borderlands. So yeah, again, as I said, level 40 here. There's level specific trophies as well, the highest being 50. Excluding the DLC, there's level specific trophies for the DLC. We managed to do the zombie DLC. The zombie DLC was all right. So most of these are just completing all of the main quests in the DLC and the side quest brains. I recommend trying to get this specific trophy as fast as possible when you're doing the DLC. We did a mistake where we did this mission after completing the DLC. So yeah, and this is basically like a massive collectathon. You have to collect a ludicrous amount of brains, and every enemy in the DLC basically drops brains. And yeah, I wish that we did that mission a little bit earlier. But regardless, it didn't actually take us too long. It was a little bit of a grind, but it wasn't too much of a hassle, to be honest. It was really easy. It was really easy. Now, let me scroll back down because I did leave out a few trophies from another game, just a little game called XCOM 2. Yeah, this game is ridiculously hard. And I managed to get 3 trophies here in this game. Beat a mission on Commander Plus with a squad of soldiers only of the same class. This sounds easy on surface, but depending on what class you choose, you might actually struggle a lot. I managed to do this with Grenadiers only, and that wasn't too bad to do, but it was kind of like a close mission. I was really lucky in that mission specifically to get my shots, and because there were certain points that it was like 50% to hit, and I managed to basically hit them. Got really lucky, basically high rolled, and yeah, managed to do that. So yep. But if you're not prepared for that, that can be a really tricky one. I will scroll down just here so you can see the rarity for that specific trophy, 1.81%. Yeah, so it's a no joke trophy, man. The next one here, beginner's luck. Beat a mission in June or later using only rookies. At this point in the game, you will have high leveled squad members. So to ask the player to use rookies at that point in the game is really difficult, man. It's so difficult on your standard mission. Now, here's the biggest tip that I can give you for this trophy. There's this particular mission type where you have to infiltrate an advent facility. Do that with rookies, and I will explain. So, you basically want to rush into the facility, maybe defeat one pod if you're well equipped, and have one person plant the explosive in the facility and then bounce straight away, and you'll be able to beat the mission. Now, it doesn't matter if that person in the facility who plants the bomb dies, as long as they do that and you manage to extract every other member you'll be able to get this trophy. So and because it will technically count as you beating the mission. So yes, that's how I managed to do it. It's sitting on a 2.54% rarity, another ultra rare. So yes, not a lot of people have done that. And if you're trying to do this casually, you will struggle. So I would recommend just making sure that you have well equipped rookies. So specifically having mimic beacons would be good. The improved rifles, like the magnetic rifle, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's doable, but tricky. It is definitely one of the more trickier trophies. And the last one here for XCOM 2 is Brutal Collection, Skulljack, each different type of Advent soldier. This one was a bit strange. It was a bit misleading when I feel like this is a little bit misleading because there's soldiers in this game that are elite version of Advent soldiers. So I thought, right, so is it all of the possible type of Advent soldiers? I just didn't get it. I looked at the guide and it said that the elites actually don't count. So it will still count towards that particular Advent soldier, but it doesn't matter if it's elite or not. So I was thankful for that. But again, I didn't know which one I was missing. So if you keep tally, then this will be fine. I don't normally use Skulljacks on my squad members. So so I had to go out of my way to get this one. And because there's only one time in the game where it's mandatory to Skulljack, I'm pretty sure. So and that's normally what I do. And then maybe I use Skulljack on a specialist if they're gonna be more of a hacking type, because later on down the line, if you have specific upgrades, you can get better hacking skill if you use Skulljack. So this was a little bit of a weird one, but again, I managed to get it. So happy days. You can see here I did the Bloodborne DLC, man. Yes. So after getting the platinum, I did make a video about the platinum for Bloodborne. Fantastic game. One of my favorite games on the system. Yes. Even though I wasn't the biggest Souls fan before playing, when I finally played it, and I had because I had played it before, dropped it because I didn't feel like playing the game. Something wasn't gelling, but when I eventually gelled with the game, it's just an amazing game, man. And I got the DLC when it was on sale. I recommend getting the game when it's on sale, to be honest. It is a good DLC. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a great DLC. It's a strange one, man. It is a strange one, but I did like going through different areas, getting different weapons. I played the game with a new character, with a new build. So in my first playthrough, I did a skill blood tinge build, and in this one, I was an arcane build. So and that was really cool to do. Just playing the game again and doing the DLC. It was a great time, man. Great time. So these trophies here are just for defeating specific bosses and then acquiring all of the old hunter weapons. Pretty doable. All of these are uncommon as well. Serena's been playing more Frostpunk. She is so good at this game, man. These 3 trophies here are for the DLC, and I'm pretty sure she managed to do all 3 in one scenario, in that one DLC scenario, so that was really good. Build the generator in last autumn scenario without using extended shifts. Build the generator before the last shipment, and build the generator using no coal consuming buildings. That's pretty good, man. To do all of that in one playthrough, that's pretty sick. And then straight after that, she lost in Serenity mode. I think this is a bit of a meme trophy. So we've already talked about the Borderlands one. Oh god, here we go. You can see at the very top here, Trophy Master, get them all. for mighty number 9, man. I managed to do it, guys. This is such a big thing for me. I thought this game bested me. Literally for the longest time, this game only had one trophy on my profile for literal years. And when I finally became a trophy hunter, I was just looking at that game and thinking, I can't believe this is on my profile. I need to clean it up somewhat. At one point, I was aiming for the platinum, but then realized it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, I just stuck it out, managed to do most of the trophies, and then I took a little bit of a hiatus with the game. Came back to it, played on hyper difficulty just to get these 2 trophies. And then I thought, right, I managed to do that. That was pretty difficult. Let's see if I can push through to get the platinum. Managed to complete the game without restarting on hard. Yes, I did try to get this earlier, but I must have accidentally restarted without realizing. So I did that. But if you look here, I managed to do the without restarting trophy and the speed run trophies all at the same time. So I managed to complete the game basically within 60 minutes on hard without restarting. Nice. So yeah, so I can basically speedrun the game now, which is something that I don't want to gloat about too much. I don't think it's like worthy of that boasting. So yeah, complete the boss rush mode in less than 20 minutes. This is really surprising that this is a trophy. And that 3 people managed to miss out on this because they missed out on getting the less than 20 minutes, but they still managed to get the boss rush trophy, which is a bit strange. What I would recommend you do is to guarantee you to do this, just know which weakness works on each boss, and I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed to be less than 20 minutes. Yeah, some of the bosses die really quickly when you use the weakness. You basically have 1 life bar in this mode, so 1 life, 1 health bar, and the health doesn't increase during the transitions to the other bosses. However, you do have 2 E-tanks, and those are basically just like health power-ups. So you do have 2 chances to heal throughout the entire boss rush. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure there's 12. I think there's 12 bosses in the game. So you've maybe more actually, maybe closer to 14 bosses. I would say if you manage to get a no-hit run at the halfway point, you're basically sorted, I would say. Yeah, and especially if you know every single boss pattern. If you don't know the boss patterns yet, I would say keep on practicing each level until you know each pattern. Yeah, this is pretty difficult. 0.85% of players have the trophy, so yeah, it's a no-joke trophy, man. And this did take a good amount of tries. Yeah, it's a little bit grindy. If you're not super good at the game, it will take you a while to do this. But when you eventually get it, when you eventually get to the point that you think you can do it, you can probably do it. So yeah. Those were the main hard ones that I was thinking about. But now, here's the cleanup ones. Achieve all fine play technical bonuses in the Mighty Number 7 boss fight. Out of all of the fine plays in the game, this is definitely the most finicky one. I can't even tell you how many times I had to restart this boss fight just because he wasn't doing the move that I wanted him to do. You basically have to dash through him when he does like 2 certain moves, right? And he just wasn't doing that one other move for the longest time, so I just couldn't get the fine play on that move, and yeah, so again, this one took me a handful of tries to do. I would recommend playing on normal difficulty, so you have max lives, and just trying to get it that way, man. Just rinse and repeat, just keep on doing it. This is very similar. Complete every sprinter technical bonus. This is you going very fast throughout the levels. But it's not only that, you have to do certain things as well. So, for instance, in the mine level, to get one of the sprinter bonuses, you can't grab a ledge in a specific shaft, right? So when you go down the shaft, you have to normally grab the ledge that's on the side to safely go down. I was speedrunning through the game using the ledge. I wasn't just dropping down, because when you drop down, there's actually an instant death pit at the bottom. So you're incentivized to actually grab onto the ledge, because there's literally something that's going to kill you. And if you're doing the speedrun trophies as well, not trying to die, then of course you're going to go for the safer option. But the sprinter bonus in this one section, you can't grab the ledge, and you have to drop down and then dash, and that's when you get the sprinter bonus. So it's not only going very fast, it's doing certain things that will let you get that sprinter bonus as well. I would recommend a guide for this. Yeah, you have to be glued to a guide for this game, man, especially for the bonuses, because it's a little bit arbitrary. So yeah, if you've got the guide and you've got the patience, yeah, you've got this. Last but not least, guys, my throw is going because Mighty number 9 pains me. So, brave the gauntlet. Complete all themes in single player challenge mode. This is the hardest trophy in the game. So challenge mode, there's 36 challenges that you need to do. Half of them are very easy, maybe trial and error, but they're doable. The other half, you need to complete each stage without dying. Right, okay, that's doable, right? Just practice, you'll be fine. Okay, that's fine. The last challenge, beat the entire game without dying once. If you know anything about this game, or even just Mega Man in general, there's points where there's just insta-kill environments, you know, obstacles, there's insta-kill attacks. So if you just die once, or if you get hit by that one thing, if you mistime a jump, if you mistime a dash, you might just die, and you have to do that whole thing again. You have to do the whole game again, because it restarts you from literally the first stage in the game. So imagine dying on the final boss and restarting to the very start of the game. What I would say about this one challenge, though, so the very last challenge, beating the game without dying, think of it like a speed run. Think of it like a speed run, because speedrunners, you don't want to die on your run, you know? You want to have that perfect run. If you think about it like that, it is doable, but will you have that patience to grind and practice this game? I don't know. This game is hot garbage, man. It's weird saying this, though. After getting the platinum, I did feel really proud, but the game is kind of rubbish. It is a shame, though. There is something here with the game. You know, I've played the game more than most. There is something there, man, but it's just everything surrounding it, you know. Like, I'm not even going to get into the Kickstarter. That's a whole other kettle of fish. But the game itself, just looking at the game, it's pretty rubbish, guys. I wouldn't personally recommend it. If you're, you know, if there's like a little twisted part in you that wants to platinum it, go ahead, but just expect that you will have to play a lot and a lot of this game. So yeah, still managed to get it. That's a big one. It's a big one. I thought the game bested me, man. I thought Mighty number 9 had my number, you know, but we managed to do it. So yeah, pretty proud of that one. Serena's went back and did some more Frostpunk. I think that's probably her main game right now, I would say. Yeah, like, she's putting in a lot of effort with Frostpunk, and I wouldn't be surprised if she eventually gets the platinum. Some of the other trophies, though, are really difficult. She has managed to get some of these, though, and these are, you know, equally hard. So let the Londoners speak and have the last word. This is a specific choice in the game where you have to pick the same option 3 times in a row. So let the Londoners speak 3 times, and then in the fourth time it happens, you have a new choice, and that's when the trophy pops. So yes, but when you let the Londoners speak, it's it actually it actually negatively affects you because they try to persuade other people in your town and all of that kind of stuff. So they turn against you, basically, the Londoners. So yeah. Finish any scenario without constructing steam or advanced buildings. That's pretty impressive. The steam and the advanced buildings are really useful for later on in the scenario. So not using them at all is pretty like well done. Finish a playthrough without building a single house or bunkhouse. This is surprisingly common. It's sitting at like a 6.85 here. Can you see that? Yeah, so 6.85. Damn, like people just didn't want to upgrade the housing for its citizens, man. What a shame. Finish a scenario without building a single Steam hub. Yes, this is another surprisingly high one with 7.13. And finish a playthrough with charcoal kilns as the only buildings that provide coal. Yes, this is an ultra rare one. So this specific building, you need wood, which is another resource, to make coal. There's other buildings that just provide coal and they're easier to use, but with this one, with this specific trophy, you need to use wood as a coal resource, as like a material for coal, which is basically making things more difficult for you. So yeah, no, well done, man, well done. Finish a playthrough without building a single tent. So this is the opposite of building a single house or bunkhouse. Without building a single tent, that means that at the very start of the game, when your citizens need housing, they're gonna be homeless for like I don't know how long, but basically as long as you don't have the research for the bunkhouse or the houses, they're just gonna be freezing their ass off, man. So yeah, that's a thing, man. And I'll just mention this here. Use the telegraph station 20 or more times, and this was for the last autumn DLC. So it's, Frostpunk DLC. Use the telegraph station 20 or more times. I'm pretty sure you're limited in how many times you use this. So being able to do it 20 or more times is pretty impressive, actually. So yes, yeah, but it's surprisingly higher, man. Like Frostpunk in general has a lot of ultra rare trophies. So when I see trophies that are very rare, yeah, like it's very rare and even rare, like I'm quite surprised. So yeah. Now here's a big game, man. Big game. Persona 5 Royal. If you've been watching my videos, you know how much Persona 5, the base version, means to me. That was the game that got me into trophy hunting. So yeah, it means a lot to me. I will have this game, Persona 5 Royal, as my 50th platinum, and I think that's just like, well, it's best suited for that game, man. That game definitely means a lot to me, and it's a cracking game so far. I'm only kind of, I want to say that I'm like halfway through the game. I'm in the middle of the third palace, but because the game is a newer version and there's new parts to the game that have been added, some of the things kind of caught me off guard a bit, like new characters, new mechanics, and yeah, no, it's just a great time being able to revisit a game and just seeing what's changed. Yeah, it's really cool, really cool. I won't mention these trophies here and the previous trophies, just because you will naturally do them as part of the main game. So it's basically the basic mechanics of the game, using them for the first time and all that kind of stuff. So. And here's Borderlands, earned level 50. Yes, so me and Serena managed to get the platinum. We're both at level 50 now, and we will eventually go back to this game and play the DLC. I think we're gonna play the is it like the General Knox DLC next? Yeah, so that's gonna be really fun to do. Really fun. We did try to do the kind of like the Colosseum like wave based DLC, but then we managed to get wrecked at the very last round of like it was like the last wave last round, and yeah, like that kind of burnt us a bit. It's like, oh no, because it came out of nowhere, like the damage was just ridiculous, and like we just got one shot. So yeah, maybe later for that DLC, but regardless, we're gonna do the other DLCs and then go back to the game. Yeah. We're currently working on Life is Strange, guys. Life is Strange. You probably know this game. It's a very easy platinum. But if you notice here, we are actually missing some of the optional photos in these episodes. How we're tackling this game is we're just playing it casually, and then we'll go back through chapter select and just get the other collectibles when we're ready. So because that's just a funner way to do it. We don't want to be glued to a guide necessarily. So yeah, so and to be honest, it's easy. Like it's an easy game. So and it won't take long to platinum at all. So yeah, so the crux of this game's trophy list is completing every episode. There's 5 episodes in total. We're just about to start episode 5 tonight, and collecting all collectibles, which are the optional photos. You need to basically take photos of optional things in every episode. I don't know how many there are in total. There's quite a few, but they're pretty easy to do. The ones that we've found, they're pretty easy. They're either like a mini puzzle, or they're just out in the open and you just take a photo of them. So it's really easy. There's a reason why this game is a 1 out of 10 difficulty. And that actually reminds me, this is part of my difficulty challenge. So yes, so I managed to do Life is Strange as my 1 out of 10 game. And I actually managed to do Final Fantasy VII Remake as well. That's part of my difficulty challenge. And if you're not aware, I'm basically platinuming a game that's in each difficulty category. So on PSN Profiles, it's ranked 1 through 10. So I'm platinuming 10 games, 1 in each difficulty rating. So the ones that I still need to do are Life is Strange. So Life is Strange 1 out of 10. I need to do Persona 5 Royal, which is surprisingly a 2 out of 10. I forgot to mention, for Persona 5 Royal, I'm playing on hard mode. Yeah, I could make it really easy if I wanted to, but I want to play on hard. I want a challenge, man. Like it's a 2 out of 10, but I want a challenge. So 2 out of 10, Persona 5 Royal. I still need to do those 2, and I need to do. And well, I did Mighty Number 9, so that's another one on my difficulty list. And yeah, basically a few more games to do, and then I'll be able to say yes, I've got a full list of games in my difficulty challenge. So yes, yep. Again, with these Persona 5 Royal trophies, they're pretty easy. I'm just going to scan through these. Some of these are new mechanics in Persona 5 Royal, but you will encounter them. They're like a mandatory encounter, so don't worry about it, and you'll be able to get the trophy no problem. And I think we're ending off with Life is Strange, some more collectibles, and you can see here that we've finished episode 4 last night. As of recording, it's the 21st. So yep, so we managed to do this last night, and we're gonna do episode 5 tonight, and then I'll go back and get all of the optional photos to get the platinum. So that's been the monthly trophy update for March 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.